had a slide that said prosumers, and I took it out. So I think you kind of heard it. It should have been there. It was there in the original presentation. And I think it's a great question, because I was really like, okay, I mean, I do think it's so important, and I think there are several things we didn't address, actually. And prosumers is one, and I was thinking about it today too, like what are really the role? I mean, it's still involving everybody. That's probably a key thing, yeah? The prosumers is like, it's such a big concept that we both produce and consume at the same time. But also some other things like the technical development we didn't really address, and I was thinking about that as well. But what does it mean? I mean, I like to have dialogue, so I'm going to pass it on, but what does it mean? Now you have to stand up, Jenny, too.
I think it's maybe connected to the downscaling that we see now, that maybe we want to produce and consume so in such large quantities in the future, and that will maybe bring back the culture of mending things or doing things yourself, being a consumer, maybe. So I think it's maybe connected to a slower society, and I'm hoping for that. But I don't know, me myself, I don't have time to prosume so much as I would have wanted to. I don't know.
Can I say, I have a comment, or just a thought. Maybe prosume, I mean, maybe I don't understand this word because I haven't really heard it before. But I'm thinking that you maybe presume, you make a project, yeah, sorry. You are doing a project, you are a designer or whatever, and you, at the same time, you are creating a life around it. You are creating your own life, like I am here now because of the Farmers Project or Spark, or and I meet people and I create, all of a sudden the project kind of starts to create your life. Isn't that also a little bit to do that? And I think after working with so much in the academy, with so many designers projects, and also on Spark, is that for me the only projects that I think are really successful are the ones that create a good life for the person who creates them and for the people who work with them. Like for you, like you were now living in Morocco, and you were, enjoying your life, and you were affecting the life of all these people. I mean, and you are making also beautiful work. If you're making good work, you are creating a good life for yourself and the people you are working with. Then I think that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And
I agree. That's an aspect of sustainability too, I think. Yeah.
And I think
it has to be sustainable in all different ways, socially as well as.
Yeah, and you are then consuming your own work, even if it's not eating a rhubarb caramel every day or whatever, but you are.
Maybe what's interesting in Morocco perhaps is that there are, in this case specifically, there are 3 million craftsmen, so it's actually a consumer base. So, for example, in the case of this motorbike we're trying to make, if they actually participate in creating that motorbike, they might be the first concern to buy it. And they're the one that can fix it too. So it's kind of funny, they become the mechanic. You could go with mechanic all to the crown. So you kind of like widen the perspective of that job. And then what I'm looking down the line is that if we manage to make that motorbike, not only does it open the idea that they can make consumer items that are useful to society, and they might create their own. Suddenly you're like, look at any object around them and think, oh, maybe I can do that, or maybe that, or just about bringing a dogma or received idea. And the other thing is, once you have this motorbike eventually done and going about, there is so many parts in that motorbike that can be customized or transformed. And so anybody that doesn't possibly have the skill to do the whole thing could start design, like just let's say, the front plan. And anybody can make his own in this whole country, basically. So that becomes an interesting maybe take on that prosumer, which I never heard of that. But anyway, so like, you know, maybe by the sheer scale of the population involved in that craft, they are clearly consuming their own eventually. I mean, maybe it's something also a bit like, what do you say, cannibalistic in that, and just,
I'm also thinking about how. I'm also thinking about how IKEA could be kind of initiating people being producers and consumers. If you buy a kit that's finished, so maybe other companies than IKEA also can challenge themselves in making products that are not finished, but also make people more active in the process of making the finished product, like this lamp that we saw earlier today, and that you can save money from not doing the whole work, and you can also contribute in having the buyer being a part of the process.